So on my travels of unpacking stuff from my move, I've come across a load of CDs, movie soundtracks, and the like. The like we won't look at. We're just going to look at the movie soundtracks. Now, I don't believe that this is everything that I've got, but certainly a majority of it. So let's take a look at some of those CD movie soundtracks that I picked up back in the day. Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. Yeah, it's been some time since I've actually picked up, well, it hasn't actually. It's been a couple of years since I last picked up a CD soundtrack, I think. But it's not something that I venture into now. But back in the day, when I used to go up into central London on a weekly basis, and you had Tower Records there, you had obviously HMV, you had Virgin Megastore, this sort of a thing. The CD soundtrack section was a weekly visit and something I always looked at and maybe picked up now and then. Now I know that this box here is short of a lovely Star Wars original trilogy, big long box with 4 CDs in it, and this booklet, big thick long booklet type thing, and that's in a box somewhere. I know that. I'll take a look at that when I come across it. But I came across all these CDs and I thought, well, before I put them away, let's do a video. Let's take a look at the CD soundtracks that I have in the collection. So let's dive into it. Now I've got a stack there, numbering about 45 discs thereabout, so we'll take a look at them. Like I said, I know Superman is missing. The soundtrack to Spirited is in a box somewhere. Yeah, this stuff is missing, so it's not a complete, but it's a lot. So let's just delve in, shall we? So the first one we've got is the movie soundtrack, music composed and conducted by Dennis McCarthy, for Star Trek Generations. Yeah, you know, it's a decent soundtrack, some decent music therein for a Star Trek film that I really enjoy. Next up is the soundtrack for Star Trek First Contact. So you can see the sort of era we was around when I was picking a lot of this stuff up. Another decent score by Jerry Goldsmith. Yeah, I won't spend too much time on them. Then we have Star Trek The Astral Symphony. This is great. This is a great it's got a selection of music. It's got 16 tracks on it from various Star Trek films, the original Star Trek films, but some of the you know, best music in here is by James Horner from Star Trek II, the Wrath of Khan. Music like the battle in the Mutara Nebula, the Genesis Countdown. Yeah, you've got some strong music. The Star Trek films did have some strong music. Then we have things like this Sci-Fi Album, which is a 2-disc CD set with movies on one disc and TV stuff on the other. So it has music like Star Wars, Independence Day, The Abyss, Empire Strikes Back, Superman, E.T., Blade Runner, Return of the Jedi, Close Encounters, Jurassic Park, Batman, Alien, Black Hole. And Disc 2 TV themes, you got stuff like X-Files, Next Generation, Buck Rogers, Battlestar Galactica, Star Trek Voyager, Babylon 5, Doctor Who, Red Dwarf, Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, Thunderbirds, Stingray, you know, Captain Scarlet Jones 90, Batman TV show, Star Trek the original series, stuff like that, you know. It's that sort of thing. And then we have I don't really know why I picked this up, because I wanted music from the film, and this only contains maybe a couple of actual Alan Silvestri tracks. No, it's got a few at the end, but others is just music inspired by the film, and that's Judge Dredd. But it was for the Alan Silvestri stuff that I wanted it. Because Judge Dredd's got a pretty damn good score to it, actually. And then we have the album of Armageddon. Yeah, the album of Armageddon, but it's primarily music, songs and that, inspired by the film, used in the film, that sort of thing, with a couple of tracks on there, musical tracks. Then we got things like this, that CD free with with total DVD, free things like this nonsense that had music tracks on. This is a great one by John Barry. Dances with Wolves, a great score. This actually came with a special edition VHS release. That was a big box, had a book in it, had the extended cut of Dances with Wolves in it on VHS, that 4-hour cut, or 4-hour cut. And I remember picking it up in W.H. Smith's at the Elephant and Castle, actually. I remember where I got that from. Obviously, I got rid of that when I got rid of all of my VHSs years ago, but obviously I kept the CD soundtrack. Of course I was going to keep the CD soundtrack. And another one by James Horner, Titanic. Yeah, a great score. Great score. We have got some TV stuff in here as well. So we have Life on Mars, the original soundtrack. Great TV show. It's good songs in it from that sort of era that was set in. And then we have Moonlighting, the CD soundtrack. Great show. I loved Moonlighting. The #1 movies album, which contained songs from various sort of, Wet, 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 Seal, Annie Lennox, Tina Turner, Thunderdome, things like that. We Don't Need Another Hero, Joe Cocker, Up Where We Belong, all that sort of movie songs. Then we have one that was free with Total Film, classic movie themes with an array of movie music on it. 4 Weddings and a Funeral. The Disney Lion King, obviously Elton John, a lot of that. It's great. Another Kevin Costner, Waterworld, obviously by James Newton Howard, and that's got some great musical scores to it. And I've got, just floating around loose in there, I actually happen to have Back to the Future CD. Yeah, I don't know where the case is for that. I don't even know if I had a case for it. I wouldn't have said I ever had the Back to the Future CD soundtrack. I don't know why. Maybe I borrowed it off of someone and it never went back. Who knows? And unfortunately, the front booklet of this one is missing. John Williams and Superman, the movie soundtrack. And we have Kill Bill and Kill Bill Volume 2. A Starship Troopers one, multimedia and audio CDs. That was free with something. And it's got some of the music, because Starship Troopers has some decent score to it as well. I just kept this one. I didn't have it for any reason. It's not even ever been in a player. Yeah. Trailers and tunes. Looks like that might have been free with Empire magazine at some point back in the day. I don't know. Then we have Rocky 2 and the Rocky Story. What better to inspire you, do some exercise, pump some weights by putting this score on. That's obviously Rocky 2. And this one here, the Rocky Collection, is music from, it's got 9 tracks on it from various films. Jeff Wayne's musical version of War of the Worlds. I suppose that sort of counts, doesn't it? Yeah, I guess so. Great soundtrack now. Con Air. Fantastic score. Although it is very repetitive in what it does. But it has just some crazy musical score in it. John Williams again. now, and we're looking at Raiders of the Lost Ark. Fantastic score. Babylon 5, Christopher Frank. This was when I was big into Babylon 5, obviously, in those early days. When that became available, I picked it up. We have a musical soundtrack for Due South. Yeah, songs, and some of it's sung by Paul Gross himself. I love Due South as a TV show. I thought it was fantastic. I got a lovely German box set over there of the TV series. DVD. John Williams again with Jurassic Park. Obviously, like I said, it's very, you know, you can see the sort of era that a lot of this came from. This was free with Total Film, Classic Movie Themes #3, Star Wars Phantom Menace, William Shakespeare's Romeo and Juliet, The Big Country, Saving Private Ryan, Aliens, Bram Stoker's Dracula, Midnight Cowboy, Great Escape, Betty Blue, Jaws, Indiana Jones Temple of Doom, Escape from New York, among other bits and pieces. Then for some reason we have Tomb Raider. I don't know. Then we have Les Miserables. And then we have an extended soundtrack for Les Miserables, which I like. I really enjoy. I enjoy the film. I enjoy the soundtrack. I like singing along to it. There we go. And I want to go and see the live show again. Plans are afoot for the Christmas period. Then we have the Blues Brothers. Yeah, great soundtrack. And the Blues Brothers 2000. The film was not particularly good, but it had some decent music therein. Okay, not as good as the first one, but then we have Independence Day by David Arnold. That's got a great score. I do like that musical score. Classic Movie Themes, free CD with Something, Total Film again. Then we have SFX. 12 top science fiction themes. Predator, 2001, Mars Attack, Starship Troopers, Black Hole, Apollo 13, Star Trek First Contact, Battle Beyond the Stars, Star Trek Voyager, Life Force, Empire Strikes Back, Star Trek The Wrath of Khan. A couple more now, just a couple more. We have songs from Pulp Fiction, which has a great soundtrack. Quentin Tarantino films generally do. And this is like without exception. And then we have Reservoir Dogs to finish things up with. Again, a great, soundtrack, list, whatever. Songs. Yeah, so that's pretty much it for soundtracks. Like I said, I'm sure I had more. Where they are, I've got no idea. I'll probably come across them in time. I know that the Star Wars box set thing was packed because I remember packing it. Obviously, I just, once you've moved, you kind of lose track of where stuff's gone, don't you? But there we go. Anyway, so that was just a quick look at the majority of movie soundtracks that I think that I have. Yeah, but not complete. Anyway, thanks for watching. Let me know your thoughts on these. What's your favourite movie soundtrack? Let me know in the comments down below. See you soon.